Bonjour mes amis, et bienvenue au Pendu dans le cercle de Lune. Hello friends, if this is your first time here, welcome. Thank you for coming. I'm pleased to meet you. If you've been here before, thank you for returning. I'm truly honored. Friends, if you are a returning visitor, you probably got from my attempt at a French introduction that this is my series in which I use Tarot de Marseille adjacent, or antique Italian decks to help me unpack my larger weekly spread, which is generally based on Rider-Waite-Smith or other systems of Tarot. And I've been, for the last year, focusing primarily on the continental Tarot systems, but I've incorporated Rider-Waite-Smith, Smith-Waite decks along with that as well. So there is that. But this is my Tarot de Marseille focused series. And boy, have I got a deck for you. I've got a deck that I've used before, so it won't be a surprise, but I haven't used it in a while and it called out to me. But before we get to that deck, let me give you a rundown of what we're about to do. So every week I do a large spread that I just mentioned. And this week I did a large spread based on the Ace of Wands from the Tarot of the Holy White by the Holy Light by the beautiful Christine Payne-Tyler. And in case you haven't seen that video for this week's larger reading, I'll put a card up here for you to hop on over and take a look at that and then come back, because seeing that reading will give you the foundation or the context from which this reading is being read. And the title of this week's video was Creative Opportunity. It was a very exciting, it was a reading that drew me in and captured me for quite a while. And I really enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed it too. And just in case you did watch it, and it's been a while since you've seen it and you want a quick refresher, you'll recall that we started off with the Ace of Wands, which was kind of cool because it's the Ace of Wands spread. I based that spread on the Ace of Wands from the Tarot of the Holy Light. So we started off with the Ace of Wands. And so the spread was basically about the new opportunity, the new creative opportunities that will present themselves for us, hopefully in the coming week. And where that can lead us. And it also gave us a caveat to be careful, to make sure that we also take time for self-care. Because if we pour all of our energy, which we might very well feel drawn to do, into this new, exciting, enticing, desirous activity, if we pour all of our energy in and we become depleted and we don't take care of that, we can become little monsters. we could become little victims as well. We don't want to do either, right? So that spread was giving us some very good advice about how we can receive those new creative opportunities, passions, drives in a healthful way. So we did that reading, and then every week these days I've been pulling out the same darn question. What is the central message of this week's Ace of Wands spread, so that we can get a short, concise nugget for us to carry forward? That makes sense, right? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you that question just once more so you see it with your eyes as well as having heard it with your ears. And then I will show you the cards that I pulled out, and then we'll start reading the cards. Here we go. Isn't that an exciting deck? Aren't those images full of passion and symbol and beauty and color, and also beautifully aged? Yeah? That is a deck called Tarot des Ambiguites. And I'll put a link in the description box below if you want to go check out this deck. It's created by Artisan Tarot, one of my favorite Tarot de Marseille style deck printing groups, houses, people, Wonderful, wonderful people. Their card stock is casino quality card stock, so the shuffle and use experience of their decks is just phenomenal. Their reproductions, their recreations are brilliant, and this is a brand new creation. This creation was done by Alejandro R. Rozan, who is a Cuban artist who has immigrated to the United States. And his work is, like I said, it's phenomenal. I love this deck. And after I looked at the spread for this week, the larger spread, and got the idea that this is all about Ace of Wands, creativity, passion, this deck seemed to just scream for my attention and say, read with me for the consolidated message. And I'm so glad that I did, because you saw the cards that we got were very interesting. Only 3. 3 is fine. That's my intent. Every time, every week, I do this video from this series, I intend a 3-card spread. And sometimes it explodes into something else. But my intention is a 3-card spread. And this 3-card spread seemed really cohesive. And you saw from left to right, we had the King of Cups, we had the Queen of Swords, and we had the Ace of Coins. Very interesting. 2 royals and an ace. The large spread for this week started off with an Ace of Wands. So that ace being here was really cool. We had 2 Queens of Water. I'll say water in the large spread because one of those Queens of Water was the Queen of Cups, as we would all expect from the Tarot of the Holy Light. The second Queen of Water was the Queen of Swords from the Udes Picard deck, because Udes Picard puts water with the swords and air with the cups. So we got a Queen of Swords, but that Queen of Swords was the Queen of Water, which was Cancer. So this Queen of Swords is a Queen of Air in the Tarot de Marseille, right? So we got a Queen of Air in the center, looking at the King of Cups, which would be water. Interesting, right? We got a male water and a female air meeting each other. And then we got Earth as a result, which is also interesting because there were a lot of hints and pointings towards alchemy. So the Ace of Coins, the Ace of Gold, right, denari, gold, would be a really good period to the end of a reading about alchemy, from passion to materialization, right? So this is all very, very interesting to me. And so let's get started. We'll start off with the beautiful King of Cups. And you see in this King of Cups, all of the cups have hearts in them. You see the heart, the very human-looking heart in the cup. Gorgeous king, love that hat he's got on. You see the drops of blood coming from the heart. So the heart is showing its liquid nature in the blood, I believe. Yeah, this is perhaps a bleeding heart, maybe. Yeah, the Bleeding Hearts Club. The clothes on this king are just wonderful. The design of both the throne and the floor with the cushion, just an amazingly beautifully drawn card. And Alejandro drew images from different decks to combine for this deck. There's a little bit, I believe, of Viavi. There's a little bit of perhaps Noblet, perhaps Dodal, all mixed together and then added onto in beautiful ways. So this is the king, again, this is the King of Cups. I'm sorry, just love this deck. Who is the King of Cups? Well, the King of Cups has wisdom from deep inner and outer knowledge. Now, this heart-driven king knows a lot from their own interior experience, but also from their experience in the world. They've got compassion for, of course, the people around them and for themselves. They're big-hearted. Yeah? The King of Cups is a big-hearted person. And yet, they're not mushy, soft sponges that you can just push around. Yeah, they've got control. They have balance. They are kings, after all. Now, they are monarchs of their own power, and their power here is heart-centered power. They generously give. They are conscious of the love that they share. They enjoy, they're filled with the joy of thriving and living. And they have very serenely managed emotions. Now, emotions within themselves and within their environment don't knock them around like a ship on the high in a stormy sea, right? They in the middle of a stormy sea, they are sailing straight in the direction that they want. They're not bounced around by the waves. They're optimistic. These kings are optimistic, so are we. We are optimistic. We can overcome our past injuries and still look ahead. We look back at the injury, we look back at the wound, the trauma, because we're not blocking it off. We're not trying to repress it. We're not trying to pretend it didn't happen. We're not trying to wallow in it either. We're not trying to use it as an excuse for our behavior in the present either. Now we look back, we do the healing work as we can, and we also look forward. Moving forward as the experiencer, not the one who is identified with the experience. Does that make sense? I've experienced this trauma, but I am not the trauma. I am me. I've learned from the trauma. I've gathered information from the trauma. I'm in the process of healing from the trauma, but I am not my trauma. That's the King of Cups. They're open to the new with prudence. They're not rushing ahead like a Knight of Wands, for example, or a Knight of Swords. But they're open to the new stuff. They're receptive, but they're prudent in their movement into the unknown. And all of their actions are based on loving visions of the world. So this is one of the qualities that I think we want to embody in order to not receive. I want to say survive, but survive makes it sound very negative. In order to, healthfully experience the Ace of Wands in our lives. But it's not this king alone, right? This king is facing a beautiful queen this way, facing the Queen of Swords, the Queen of Air. Beautiful Queen of Swords. Now you'll see that this deck calls her the Queen of Arms, de bras. Rien de bras. Arms. Like weapons can be arms, yeah? Knight, where art thine arms? Not these arms, but the weapons, right? So weapons, swords, the Knight of Arms, the Queen of Arms. So you'll notice, very interestingly, the sword at the bottom has the shape of the swords from the minor arcana. And the top of the sword has the shape of the odd number sword from the minor arcana as well. So like on a three of swords from a Tarot de Marseille, the two swords on the sides would be shaped like the bottom of the sword, and the one piercing the center would be shaped like the top of the sword, right? Really interesting. But you'll notice at the top of the sword, there's a hand, which is really interesting, right? So it's the Queen of Arms. The sword is an arm. And you'll notice the clothes are just gorgeous. I love the reds and the dark blues in this deck. I hope the colors are, and the golds, I hope the colors are reading well enough for you here. But who is this Queen of Arms or the Queen of Swords? Well, this is the Queen of complexity, of complex thought, of complex vision, not of complexity in the sense of confusion. There's clarity, but complexity. She is perceptive. They are perceptive. There's a clear-mindedness here as well. The Queen of Swords is a queen of powerful intellect, of useful and effective ideas. Not so much fanciful ideas like a Page of Swords might have. Useful, effective, rational ideas that can be put to use. And not ideas, right? This queen can still stubbornly defend those ideas when we feel we are confronted. So there's that dark side there. But the Queen of Swords for me is the witty one. Witty. Yeah, clever, funny, witty. The witty and independent one. Independent thinker. The Queen of Swords is not going to follow what the King of Swords says just because the King of Swords said something, right? The Queen of Swords is absolutely independent of mind. The Queen says what they want to say, when they want to say it, and they are open to new ideas. So you notice that both of these court people are open to new things. The King's a little cautious about the new things, and the Queen is very independent about the Queen's reaction to the new things, but they're both open, right? More open perhaps than a Queen of Cups might be. There's a closeness to the Queen of Cups, a little bit of a protected stance of the Queen of Cups, whereas the King of Cups has her cup all the way open. The Queen of Cups has her cup covered. So this king and queen joining together in union are a wonderful match. And yeah, she can become stubborn. And he might be too interested in other people's situations. But combined, they make a very interesting person that is able to open up to the new. Creatively, lovingly, with compassion for self and others, but still independent of others, and independent of their own good ideas too. The Queen of Swords can also doesn't identify with their ideas, just as the King of Cups doesn't identify with their emotions. Does that make sense? And so the result of that meeting is this. It's the Ace of Coins. And you see the Ace of Coins is a head, which is kind of cool. Reminding me a little bit of a Bacchus head, if you ask me. But yeah, a head. A bloody head. It's a bloody head. But you see the drops of blood there. I keep checking because I have a black and white version, and the black and white version of this card makes the drops of blood look a little bit like they might be blue. And I just needed to double check that the blood coming out of the head is actually red and not blue. Yes. So it's a gorgeous card. I love this card. And all of the coins are heads, by the way, in this deck. So the Ace of Coins, who is that, or what is that? Well, it's an ace, it's an opportunity. But an opportunity that must be cultivated. It could be related to many areas of our life. It could be related to our family life, our home. It could be related to money. It could be related to our health or our body, our bodies. My body, your body, our bodies. So it could also be related to other resources. So there's an opportunity either with our home, with our bodies, with money, or with other resource material stuff. There's potential prosperity here. There's a new beginning here, a new venture, but again, one that must be cultivated. Can't just put the seed in the ground and wait. Don't want to dig it up and check on it either. We put it in the ground and we cultivate it. We make sure it has water. We make sure there aren't other things drawing the nutrients from its soil. We pull out the weeds or any encroaching things so it has the best conditions to grow. That's what that's talking about. And there are potential rewards here. Our mental energy in the body and resources give life to those, to our bodies and our resources. So we focus our minds, like the Queen of Swords, on our focus, our body, our resources, and that is rewarded. That's like nurturing the seed. And there's a practical perspective here, a utilitarian approach to the Ace of Coins, which echoes a bit the Queen of Swords, if you ask me. Directs questions to concrete aspects of life. So this ace, this opportunity, is related to something concrete in our lives. And the way for this to be a potential opportunity for us and to nurture this is by joining both heart and mind. Compassion for self, compassion for others, big-heartedness, but also self-care, keeping ourselves even-keeled in the middle of a stormy sea, perhaps. As we think independently, we perceive clearly, we use our powerful minds, independent of the good ideas of others, perhaps, to nourish the seed that is planted. And this message echoes beautifully the large message for this week's larger spread. Don't you think? Do you think so? If you do, let me know in the comments below. If you do not, let me know in the comments below. If you don't see how those two messages, or those two readings are reflective of each other, let me know. Let's talk about it. If you've got a better idea, let me know. I'd love to learn from you. If you are still here, and I'm very grateful if you are, please hit the thumbs up button. It helps the channel. It truly does help the channel. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and hit the alarm bell so you get notifications of when I upload videos. I'm planning on doing a third video this week. It might not go up until Monday of next week, but I'm doing a third video this week. It's going to be a walkthrough of a beautiful, beautiful Payan tarot deck, which I got from Marco Benedetti, and a viewer asked me to give a walkthrough, and so I'm going to give you a walkthrough. So I'll upload that maybe Sunday, maybe Monday my time. So there is that. So hit the alarm bell so you get notifications of when it goes up. And really comment below. I would truly love to hear from you. And if you want a private reading from me, my email address is below. You know that, right? thehangedmaninthemoon@gmail.com. Shoot me an email. We'll get you a reading. Whatever you want. Rider-Waite-Smith, Tarot de Marseille. I'm here for you. Long, short, your choice. Method of reading, your choice. So friends, thank you very much. And now, as always, I wish you love, joy, well-being, and pure awareness. Thank you.